Hello lovely people, I'm Catherine and welcome to this week's episode of Park Home Life. And I'm here in my little local park having a nice walk with Stella, and I thought I'd just bring you with me just to show you some of the colours on the trees in case you don't live in a part of the world where you have such a thing. I'm going to turn and walk that way behind me, but stay out on this green area, and I think that's the best view. Unfortunately it's a bit cloudy today. I should have filmed earlier in the week when it was sunny, but anyway, we can only do with what we can do. Oh, here's a little friend coming. So I'll turn you around and we'll have a little walk, okay? Come on, Stars, where's your ball? It's a good girl. Oh, there's a little friend. Come on, bring your ball. It's a good girl. Come on, Stels. Come on. Bring your ball. That's all right. Stels, come here, girl. Bring your ball. Okay. Oh, she's back again. Right, come on, we'll go this way. Good girl. Okay, slight pause in the video whilst that woman got her dog back. He wanted to play with Stella rather than go for a walk with her owner. So the light isn't, it's actually a beautiful day. I mean, I do like all kinds of days, as I've mentioned before. I won't point you straight into the sun, but the sun's just coming in top left there. So it's all veiled by the clouds. It's 9 in the morning, you know, but it's just very soft, there's no wind. And the trees are just beautiful colours. There's some construction noises going on in the background as well. So apologies for that. Men dropping scaffolding poles. I hope you can hear the birds. So we just walk on here a little bit. Yeah, there's a restaurant up there and they're doing some work renovating it. Come on, Stels, let's kick your ball. I didn't bring the ball wanger because of filming. Got my poncho on. I think that's the first time this year. So they do some kind of gentle trimming and cutting back. Not too much. They obviously leave plenty of brambles and things for wildlife and biodiversity. They've trimmed this edge here, but one of my neighbours works here as a volunteer, and he's kind of explained to me what the rationale of what they do. It's like this area in the middle, they leave it to get long right up until the end of summer so the wildflowers can seed, and then they cut it and then they let it grow again, but they leave some patches of seeding plants, and then obviously there's some elders and things like that are coming up in the middle, and then the little bit down at the bottom where you can see that person walking, that is kept cut, but that's for the dogs to play on and the kids to play on and people to have picnics in the summer and things like that. So it's, yeah, and there's a little bit of woodland either side and then a bit more woodland up at the top where I always come in. That's the end I live where the woodland is. And then they just kind of make these piles with the, you know, with the trimmings. Here's the walnut tree where I got the leaves from to get that beautiful gold. And I've got a whole load of husks at home as well that I collected off the ground. I haven't got around to dyeing with them yet, but I will. When I pick up walnut husks, I just keep them like that. They're just in my shed in a tray, and they go all black and horrible looking, but that's how I like them. They're absolutely fine. I know some people freeze them and all that, but I don't. I've never bothered. Been dyeing with walnuts for years. And even the walnut dye bath I often just leave, and it might get a skin of mould on the top. You just skim it off and put it in the compost and it will still give beautiful colour. and I kind of keep that walnut dye bath all year until I've got another one, and it, you know, it will still keep giving colour. You want me to kick that for you, do you? It will only be a kick. All this mixture of beautiful leaves on the grass here. Here comes my clogged foot. Hopefully my clog doesn't fly off. That was rubbish. Sure as gets in the way. Yeah, I've got these clogs that I wear winter and summer. With some, I got them a good few years ago when I was in France still. Some birthday money. They're Swedish clogs. I think the soles are made of poplar wood, and then the top is leather. They were quite expensive, hence they've been a birthday treat. But they're so comfortable, and I always wear them to walk here, even if it's really wet and muddy. I mean, there are paths everywhere, so you can pretty much stay out of the mud. But yeah, it's not an advert for these clogs, but when Joey said to me, how can you walk in those? Honestly, they're so comfortable and easy to walk in, and they're non-slip, you know, they've got proper soles on them, they're not just the wood, although I do know that Dutch people wear clogs that are only wood. And probably French people as well, they have those sabots. Anyway, we're going into a great clog sidebar, as Jerry would say. There's a beautiful leaf there. Look at that one. I won't take any more because I've already got plenty in my journal, and I think we're going to move on to other things on Monday. So I'll just loop round. We're just going to go back through this little copse here. The word copse means, in English, I don't know if you use it in other countries, you'll have to let me know, other Anglophone countries. I've got leaves stuck to my clog, look at that. Kind of decorated with leaves. It comes from the same root as the word coppice, which is what you can do to certain trees, done traditionally for going back, you know, eons. I don't know how long an eon is, a long time. Stells, what are you eating? A feather. Leave it. Oh no, it's a feather with something still attached. Leave it. Where's your ball now? No. Where's your ball? Oh, you got your ball. Good girl. Sorry, big voice came out then. Yeah, there was, unfortunately, some poor bird had died, I think, and it was a bit gruesome. Anyway, made her drop it. Oh, here comes Phoebe. This little Dalmatian Phoebe. I'll stop because I'll probably have a chat with the owner. But she smiles at you. She shows her teeth, but she's smiling. I'll just stop recording for a minute. She did have a smile for me, so that was nice. She usually does. She's so cute. She curls her top lip right back and just gives you a flash of a smile. I guess I could have tried to film it and asked the lady if she minded, but I didn't. I'm sorry, you'll have to imagine it. Yeah, so they leave all these areas here of bramble and nettles and things as well. So I think it is, you know, for a public park that's quite well used by dog walkers and people with children, and sometimes you see kids from the local school coming here doing various projects. Kind of makes me think about the balance that we have to strike with how we live with nature. I mean, this is very much a park. It's not wild by any stretch of the imagination. Like I said, it's managed. You see, it's got these hogging paths here, this mix of stone and clay. But yeah, anyway, I'm lucky to have it on my doorstep. What was I saying about coppices? Copses, yes, from the word coppice, which is what you can do with certain trees like ash and hazel. They do it naturally as well. So if the main trunk gets damaged or broken, then lots of little stems spring up from the base. So that's done also to harvest the wood, you know, to harvest the timber. So in a hazel copse, for example, some of the plants will be cut back and encouraged to form stems around the base, which then give, you know, future trunks to harvest for making stuff or firewood or whatever. You want me to kick that? Well, you have to stay out of the way when I kick it. But yeah, only sort of, I mean, I've known the word copse and the word coppice for eons. Back to eons. I'm just going to kick this ball. Oh, slightly better. And I've only recently made the connection in my brain between copse and coppice. So then I looked it up, of course, librarian. And yeah, there we go. So here's some beautiful field maples. I showed you them a little while ago and they are still quite green. But you see they're almost all yellow now. And the little ash poking through the top there. So we'll go back up here. Actually, I might just have a little sit on this bench and have a little chat with you here. I'll do that. I'm going to have a little sit on this bench and I'll turn you around. Hang on a sec. Yeah, Stella will probably start yapping now because she wants me to kick her ball. Yeah, I just thought I'd have a little chat here with you rather than going home and having a chat because it's so lovely. What do they want to... No, don't start now. She's yapping because she wants me to... No, now stop. She won't stop. I don't even know why I'm trying to stop her. I just have to ignore her. Or kick the ball. So it works. So she carries on doing it. How our dogs train us. I'll keep kicking the ball while I'm talking to you. Hit her on the nose. Oh, that's not good. I just stopped for a minute because the bin lorry was going past. I mean, we are not in nature, like I said. We are on the edge of a town with all the sounds that go with it. What was I going to say? Yes, so what have I been doing between now and last week? Well, Joey's been here, as you know, if you've watched before. If not, welcome. Joey's my son and he lives in France and he's over staying with me for the week. So we haven't done... Well, we've done a few things, but not anything major exciting. We haven't been camping because he'd had an orthodontic surgery on his jaw. Basically, there isn't room in his mouth for all his teeth. So they've kind of done some modification work on his jaw. So he's feeling okay, but, you know, not really up to camping or anything like that. So that'll have to wait for another time. But we did, sorry, my finger over the lens. My arm was aching, I was changing hands. We did, kicking the ball, we did, oh no, there's people coming. I'll be back to you in a minute. Okay, I lost my spot on the bench because a couple came and I see them quite often. I think I've talked about them if you've been here a while. They've got the little dog called Nell, who, someone else coming now, it's a busy time of day, who was a rescue dog and was terrified of other dogs when they got her, and Stella was her first friend. Stella was the first dog that she dared play with. Anyway, Nell is now a very outgoing little dog, and that was them down there, so we were having a chat. But here is the big beech tree that I put my woodland bundle in for the slow journaling, for my Kate the Brave journal, which I am thinking I will get back to next year and do some more work in her. But her leaves, the tree, just turning and starting to fall. I'll just scan you up slowly. So right at the very top they're yellow, but down below they're still green. And she looks beautiful against the sky. So I think I'm going to go and sit on this other bench, have another go of having a chat with you, with the power tools going on in the background. Hang on a sec, I'll show you the bench. There's the bench. I'm going to go and sit on that. Okay, I'm sat on the other bench. I hope the sound's okay. I've got a spare microphone. I must put it in my forage bag so that I've always got it with me. I do think it's fine, the built-in microphone on my phone, but I think the separate microphone's better. Anyway, stop wittering on about technicalities, Catherine. They don't need to know, or probably want to. So what was I saying, what Joey and I have been doing? Yeah, so he came on Thursday. Friday we kind of had just a quiet day at home. Saturday we went to Ace Arts in Somerton, where I've taken you a few times for different things. Oh dear. Oh no, there's someone else coming. And we saw an exhibition. It was an open exhibition. A few friends of mine had work in there. One was Cara, who you've seen her hanging by a thread exhibition if you've been here a while, last year, with my other friend Angela. And then another friend of mine, Alicia Merritt, who is quite well known internationally as a quilter, and she is a former member of the textile group I was in. And then another friend, Marion. All three of those friends had work juried into the exhibition. So it was an open exhibition. It was all mixed art of different kinds. I'm just going to rest my elbow on my knee because it's holding it up high enough so you can see me. Sorry for the wobbling. Yeah. So it was an open exhibition. I could have submitted work if I'd got my act together, but maybe next year. But then there was a winner by the selection panel. Apparently they had 500 pieces submitted, and they hung 100 pieces, or displayed 100 pieces. They weren't all wall hung. Steaming up now. So yeah, so a lot of it was painting and that kind of thing, obviously, and sketching, but those 3 friends of mine are all textile artists, so it was lovely to see textiles represented. And then the actual winner was, I can't remember her name. I'll look it up and I'll flash it on the screen now so you can go and look her up. But it was stitched work, it was blanket stitch. And I couldn't do any filming or photographing because it was so busy, you know, it was the open day. But it's on until I think the end of December, so if I manage to get back there, I'll try and do some filming for you. Yeah, there were these beautiful pieces, they're about A3 size, and I had a chat with her about it, and she said that there were photocopies of her art collages that she'd backed onto cotton sheet, and then she'd done blanket stitching into them. But it was very square graphic blanket stitch in all different colours, not the winky wonky style that I do. But it was beautiful, beautiful work, wonderful to see, but that she won. That I was just so happy, you know, yay for textiles. So we went there, and then we had some lunch with Chrissy and Marion. And Sunday I don't think we did a lot. Joey's got schoolwork to do, you know, he's on university work. He's on half term, but he's still got work to do. And I can't remember what we did on Monday. Tuesday, it was a nice day, and we went to the beach. We went to Burton Bradstock, and we had some lunch. Well, actually, we meant to have some lunch in the Hive, but I forgot it was half term, and I hadn't booked, so it was heaving. So we just got something from the takeaway, like a fish sandwich, the fish in batter, you know, sandwich, and some chips to share, and a coffee, and we went and sat on a little wooden bench and had that there, and had a nice walk on the beach. Didn't do any filming because you've seen that beach a million times. And also Joey's a bit self-conscious because he's got, you know, this thing in his teeth. And talking of teeth, oh yeah, and then on Wednesday Joey went, that was yesterday, I'm filming this a day ahead. Joey went off to Southampton for the day to visit an old school friend of his. And first thing in the morning I had to take Fredfred to the vet for his annual vaccination. He's absolutely fine. But I did shoot a little bit of video footage of him in the vets, not being treated, but in his cat carrier, just so you can hear his voice, because I don't think you've ever heard his voice before. So I'll insert that now, followed by some more footage of when we got home again, just to show you that he was absolutely fine and he recovered very quickly. So that's coming up now. Not happy? Are you not a happy boy to be at the vet? Oh dear. It's all right. No, no. Okay, we're home from the vets, and I just wanted to show you that Fredfred has been deeply traumatised. I'm being sarcastic, by the whole expedition. This is how he's sleeping. And Stella's squashed right up against me. And I'm just sitting here doing a bit of stitching, because then in an hour or so I have to go to the dentist. Are you okay, Fredfred? Was that very traumatic going to the vets? Do you need to lie down on the sofa? He's twitching his tail now because I'm speaking to him. But yeah, it's a bit rainy outside, so he's just chilling. There he goes, twitching. Slight change from the little bit of footage that you saw a moment ago. So yeah, he's absolutely fine. So you see, he was absolutely fine and got over it in no time. I think there's a lesson to be learned there, isn't there, for us humans. So yeah, so and then in the afternoon I had to go to, not the dentist, but the hygienist. I'm having fairly regular appointments, because when I lived in France I didn't see a hygienist for years. I only saw the local dentist. And I've talked before about how I get anxious and nervous and all that. Well, two things. One, because I'd already been and I knew how lovely they were, that put me at ease. And then the second thing is I was doing Wednesday's coverlet of comfort video, and I made it on Wednesday morning, and then I was uploading it. I have to film it, and then I have to edit it because there's quite a lot more footage than you actually see, just boring me stitching, not talking or anything. So it takes, a couple of hours just to do that. So then I have to export it from my app, which takes time, and then I have to upload it. And for some reason, I don't know why, I don't know what was going on. It normally takes maybe half an hour to an hour to upload a video because I've got the super fast What's It. It took 2 hours to upload. And so I had to go to the dentist, and I kept checking the time. And in the end, it just managed to, it gets uploaded, and then YouTube has to check it. Before you can do all the final YouTubey bits to it and monetize it, so I get my little pittance from the share of the ads. I just managed to do it in the dentist waiting room. It was about 3:10, and it should go up at 3 GMT. The clocks have now gone back. So apologies, it was about 10 minutes late, but I was sat in the dentist waiting room, and it just got the notification that it was all fine, so I just pressed publish. So I think some of you are a bit confused that, anyway, you got it, and it wasn't that late, so. And because of worrying about that, I didn't have time to worry about the dentist, and it was actually a different hygienist, but she was equally lovely as the first chap that I saw. And yeah, it was absolutely fine. She gave my teeth another good clean. And I've got to go back in another 3 months for another going over. But yeah, so that was fine. And then today we're going to go and meet my friend Angie and her son, who Joey kind of half grew up with, and have some lunch with them. And in the evening we're going to go and see another friend of mine. It's actually the friend that bought the house I lived in before I went to France, and I have been back there, of course, a few times. But it's always a little bit mixed feelings going there because I love that house. And it's lovely, her and her husband have done a lot of work to it, and a lot of the... Stella, what are you rolling in? Come here. Stella. Stella. Oh, too late. Stella, come here. Come on. No. I think the deed is done. Stella. Come here. And no, don't come up to me. Stay there. Yeah, definitely she's rolled in something horrible, but it seems to mostly be on the bandana. That is another good thing about that bandana, the way she rolls. It takes bears most of the brunt of the stink. What was I saying? Yes, going back to the flat. It's a big 2-storey flat with a walled garden and right in the middle of town. I just loved it. I just loved living there. Great big high windows. But anyway, don't live there anymore. It's now my friends. But it's always a bit strange going back there. So we're doing that today, and yeah, so that's why I'm doing that this morning, because I didn't want to risk doing this tomorrow morning and have the same issues that I had for Wednesday's video. So the other thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to go home and kick Joey out of bed, because he went to see his friend yesterday and there were all kinds of delays coming back on the train. He didn't get in until about 9:30, I think, and he left at 7, going up to 7 in the morning, so he was quite tired. So he's still in bed. So I go and kick him out of bed, well, not literally, and make the house look a bit presentable, and then I'll show you, as promised, just how I've moved my desk, just so you can picture me when I'm doing my videos, my crafting videos, so you can just picture where I'm sitting and so on. Okay, so we'll go home and we'll do that. So that's coming up. Here's a little bit of footage that Joey filmed on our way back from the beach. You'll see better in a minute. But we're driving through those lanes that I took you through a couple of weeks ago, and there were 2 peacocks, but one of them had already gone away. If he goes round into the sun, you'll see him. There he goes. Look at that. He wouldn't show us his tail. Okay, so here is how the living room is different. You'll see that behind me there, where I normally sit when I speak to you, the bookcase has gone. Well, it hasn't gone, but it's not there anymore. It's moved. And the main change, my dear Stars, good girl, is that the desk isn't in that corner anymore. It's gone into the kitchen, like I said. So all I did was I pushed my auntie's drawers right up into that corner, and then I moved the Singer sewing machine that was over there to there. And then that chair now fits there as well, which is nice, because that chair was kind of getting moved around. And you know, when at Christmas, or if there's more people here than just me and one other person, that chair is now kind of part of the circle, so to speak, the sociable circle. So there's nothing else changed over there apart from, well, Fredfred's basket is the other side of that and the plant's in the corner, but it's pretty much the same. And then my bookcase is there. Sorry, that was a bit quick. My bookcase is there. The clock was on the sewing machine there, but I've now put the clock in the kitchen. I'll show you in a minute. So I've made a bit of space on the bookcase to put the picture of the children and my dancing lady that they bought me. Those light and dark on canvas. I still haven't stitched the corners, but I'm putting them into an exhibition next month. I'll tell you more about that in a future video. And my little jar that I'm layering up black and white stones that I pick up from the beach. And then I put some of my bigger books just over there next to the television, so I didn't know where else to put them. And that's Joey's headphones there, and his charging leads. So he's in the kitchen making his cup of tea, and so when he's finished there, I'll take you into the kitchen and show you the changes in there, okay? Okay, so now I'm in the kitchen. I'm stood right with my back to the door, and that's where my desk is, basically where my kitchen table used to be. And I'll just go into the corner by the sink. Yeah, that's better. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I've been working here for the last few days, and Joey's been sitting there to do his university work while I've been in the living room. And it's nice that the living room is now only the living room. I mean, I know my work isn't very onerous or exhausting. It's very enjoyable, in fact. But it is nice to sit in the living room and not be, you know, with your workspace, if that makes sense. It's, you know, it's quite a pretty workspace, I think. There's only the camera stand really that's sort of high tech. But yeah, and Fredfred's food is on there, so Stella can't eat it. And oh, just how did that happen? It's Halloween. No, I just pushed it back, so it's obviously just fallen. It's just my charging cable. So my camera stand, I got these little shelves. They're just cheap ones that I bought locally. They're wood, but you know. So that's quite handy. I've got all that stuff up off the desk, so I've got more desk space when I'm doing mixed media or whatever. And I've now got the camera stand clamped to that one shelf there. So that means I can get it higher up. I've only got that one, which looks much neater than the Frankenstand. And yeah, I can put it high up, or I can bend it down if I want to get you closer in, or whatever. Oh, I'll just show you Joey's hat. Joey wanted a beanie hat, so I knitted him one just over the last few days, and it's laying there. That's his stuff there. Yeah, it's just a free pattern of Ravelry. It was some Yorkshire... no, Shetland wool, pure wool, but it's lovely and soft, it's not itchy. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called Sun and Sea or something. I'll try and put the name of it up on the screen if you want to go and look on Ravelry. But basically, it's just knit 2 purl 2 rib, just simple. I did the German twisted cast on, which I always do if I want something super stretchy. I used to do it when I did cuff down socks. There's also Jenny's stretchy cast on, but I just prefer the look of this. I always have to look up how to do it, I can never remember. But yeah, it makes a really nice stretchy edge that springs back. So yeah, it was just knit 2 purl 2 rib, and then just some decreasing at the end, and just like the way it came out. And the decreasing was quite pretty as well. I think it's inside out. Should be the other way in. You see my end sewn in. Anyway, so that's Joey's beanie. So that's my desk. So this is where I'm sitting, and so you might hear the fridge every now and then when it kicks in, because it's just behind me. But I just want to turn you around ever so slowly, just to show you that I have put the clock going slowly up there on the shelf above the kettle. That's maybe not a good place for it now. I'm thinking about it being with the steam, so maybe I need to move it somewhere else. Hadn't thought of that. But anyway, I will put it somewhere in the kitchen. Maybe I'll put it one shelf higher or something. Or I don't know. A steamer problem with clocks, probably. Although I do pull the kettle out when I boil it. So anyway, I'm now mithering. But it will be in the kitchen, so you can hear it, because I know many of you like to hear it ticking when I'm filming. So I just wanted, the last thing I've got to show you is I didn't finish my homework, as you know. I'll turn you around again. On the coverlet of comfort, you'll know if you watched on Wednesday. So here it is. I still haven't finished my homework quite, but I've done a lot more. So I just wanted to show you, I've done all the threaded double running stitch in the intersections between the squares, and I'm just now going around the very outside edge. Try not to let it go blurry. Do you see? So yeah, I'm just going around the very outside edge now. And I did pull my double running stitches a little bit tight, so that's why it's so rumply. But I am then going round the little squares with the gold, if you didn't watch, just so you know, with the gold stitching, just to flatten it a bit. But I quite like rumply, so yeah. That is a tension issue because I pulled my stitches too tight. Naughty me! But I love it. I'm really happy with the way it's coming on. So hopefully I'll get that finished, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. And I want to get it all joined ready for next Wednesday, because we'll move on to November in the coverlet of comfort. And yeah, it would be nice to have this done and joined by then. So that's it really. That is my park home life for this last week. You're all caught up. And Monday's video will be the journal. I might do something stitchy on Monday. I feel like doing something stitchy in there. So yeah, I don't know what exactly yet, but you heard it here first. So some sort of slow stitch journal type entry in my journal for all seasons. So I look forward to welcoming you to that if you choose to join that. Otherwise, I'll see you on Wednesday for the coverlet of comfort, or I'll see you next Friday. I think next Friday will be a slow stitchy video. I think I'm going to start stitching on my oaken spool. I'm going to start the fancy stitching, because I've had quite a few questions about, do I stitch from one end to the other, or how do I go about it? Well, I don't on those kind of scrolls. I jump about. So I think some of you have maybe made one already and you're itching to get started. So let's do that next Friday. So meanwhile, thank you so much for watching. Lots and lots of love and hugs and kisses. And I look forward to you joining me next time for cloth tales, journaling tales, wittering tales, whatever. Have a lovely weekend. Bye bye.